statuses have been an issue with their previous solution that they were using, and just not being able to keep up with statuses very well. She shared a spreadsheet with me on how they were currently doing it and just the difficulties of dealing with that, in addition to dealing with CRMs and stuff like that. So we started brainstorming on what could we do, and I've added some new capabilities to the listings tab, the transactions tab, and if you've got the projects tab, it's on there as well. And let me go show that first, and then I'll show you how to configure it so that it's beneficial to you. So whenever you go into a property area and you go into your listings tab, transactions tab, or projects, depending on if you've got projects or not, in the listings, we've got a new tab here called statuses. Now, the purpose of this is that during the listing process, during the transaction process, there are certain, what I was originally considering milestones in a way, but it's not milestones. It's more of, hey, these certain things have to get done, and they're could be part of a checklist, but you want to actually see the overall status of them. So one of the things may be, do I have my listing docs? And based off of what choices you want, was it complete? Is it pending? Does it need the seller signature or the broker signature or whatever? You can pick those statuses in where they're at and assign them to that listing. The choices on here, the different choices, we set up some defaults so that you didn't just start off with a blank one based off of what Melanie was using as her defaults. I excluded a couple of them because they were really specific to her area, but some of these are very common and definitely worth having, but the menu choices may be different for you as well. So the status item and the status choices are configurable, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The number of items in here, you can add, you can delete, you can put as many different things in here as you want. Whenever you're looking at this screen, if the screen becomes smaller, say I'm in a mobile view or whatever, it's not moving for me here. So let's say I go to more of a mobile view, the number of columns it takes up is going to be different. So the smaller the view, the order actually shows a little bit better. So this is the order in which I had them set up in the settings area. For a second, it kind of snakes otherwise. So going from left to right, top to bottom in the items that are in the list. Now, how is this useful whenever you're dealing with a lot of listings? For those people that have assistants, you can then go into your dashboard, and we've got two new widgets that are more geared for the assistant than anybody. We have the active listings widget, which and active transactions. These are more specific to the user. If you are the listing agent or the buyer's agent of a particular transaction, you will show in the property or listing will show in these two widgets for you, your purposes of seeing them and stuff. But for an assistant that is maybe working with multiple agents in your office, they want to be able to see not just your stuff, but everybody's stuff, right? So what we did is a very similar type dashboard widget that whenever you come to it, you can configure first off for the active listings. I can click on the little gear here and decide what active list or what listings do I want to show based off of their statuses. I want to show active, I want to show coming soon, contingent, pending, potential, pre-listing, under contract. If any of these you don't use, you can set it however you want. Or if you've got other choices, because you can customize those choices and you want those in this widget, you can check those and make sure they're in there. But here's what's cool is with this one, once the listings are determined by their status, you can go into an expanded view and you can determine what's in that expanded view using this button here, where you can specify what columns do you want to use. And I'm going to, this will make a sense in just a second. Let me go ahead and just come over here. Whenever you click on this expanded arrow piece, it will go into an expanded view of all those listings by their status items that you've got in there to see what items are in the list. What it's going to do is do some color configurations based off of, is anything old? In this case, you've got an expired that's past due. Again, this is all sample data, so it's just showing, hey, you've got something that is out of whack there. You've got some dates that are missing. Some of the totals down here will show you some of the things that's important about it. But what we're doing here is we're allowing you to say, well, as an assistant, I may want to check certain things. If the price changes, I can change it right here. If the status changes, I can change it right here. If I, on any of those status items that are in that statuses tab, I can look and see what the values are right here. And then I can also change them right here. So if it's been submitted or not started or whatever, and these choices are configurable by you. So at any point, you can see all of your listings. You can see in the order that you've specified in the settings. This may be confusing to you because you're not used to seeing what columns are there. Maybe they're different labels than what you would use, but you can configure this in however you want to see it so that it gives you the status that you would want to see for your business. Once you come in here, you also have the ability to print this, and it will create a printed version of it as well. So the question becomes, what items are in these columns? The address is always shown, so it kind of scrolls so that you can keep track of the address itself. But each of the different columns here, listing date, expiration, listing agent, you're able to specify those in that gear control here. Go to the expanded table columns, and then I can see listing date, expiration date. If you were kind of turn this sideways, you could see that they go in this order across the list. You can specify the width if certain fields are too wide or too long and you're not seeing everything. You can adjust the width in number of pixels. It's a computer size basically, but most of the time you won't need to mess with those, but I do give you that ability. You can change the order in which they're displayed. So if I wanted my status to always be, the first thing on there, I want my days on market, maybe even it up here next to the status. I hit save on that. Or if I wanted to add other columns, I can click on add other columns, and it shows you all the different columns that are available. If I type in statuses, you'll see what's left or what's not being used. I didn't add the seller's disclosure statuses field in there, so let's just go ahead and add that as well. So it adds it to the bottom, and maybe I want to move it there, whatever. Click on save. Now, whenever I go into my expanded view, it's put my statuses first item, my days on market, each of the different columns on there that I wanted, and then it put in the compliance or seller disclosure right here. So As an assistant, I can see each of the properties, each of the listings or transactions. If I'm in the transactions view, I can see where they're at in the process. If something did get changed, maybe corrections are needed on that one. Maybe this one is complete, whatever. I can make those changes. And then whenever I go to those individual listings and go to the statuses, you'll see that the information is what I selected from the drop downs. So it ties it all together and brings it into one place. The goal would be to colorize these in a way that everything is green across the list if it's good. So maybe like my seller's disclosures where I have complete, which is a black color, I can configure that so that it's green as well. So whenever you're looking at these, your goal would be to see everything in green. If you see anything in red, these are high priority items. Yellow ones are things that are being dealt with. What you can do is in the upper right, clicking on your initials, you can go into your setup, and we now have in the menu options, we've got this listing statuses tab, transaction statuses, and project statuses. And whenever you go, I'm just going to go into the listings tab. These are the items that were in, whenever you go into the listings area, under the statuses tab, these are the items that's in the list. If I wanted to add another status, what's another good status that you guys like to track? Let's just say a coming soon type thing, and I'm going to hit add on there. And as far as the statuses on that, so what that did is that added that as an item in my list. I can change the order in which I see those in the tab itself. I can then come over here and edit the choices on that coming soon. So maybe I want my first coming soon thing is, I'm not sure that's a great coming soon, but what would be some choices for coming soon for a status? Let's say staging. Staging, the staging status on this is the first item might be ordered, and I can come over here and choose a certain color or a grayscale version of it if I want. So maybe if I order it, I want it to be this orange color. If I add another choice that is completed, we did our completed stages, it's going to be green. Let's say in process, and make it more of a yellowish color, and I want it to be in between there. So you can put whatever choices you want to in there, however you want them set up, and also whatever items you want in there. Now, whenever I go into my my property area and go into the listing and go into statuses, I now have my staging. I can say that's been ordered, or it's been in process, or it's been completed, whatever. So it gives me those choices that I need to keep track of. Your goal, I would say, would be have everything, in here as being green, at whatever point so that seller disclosures item, I should go in there and change it to be green instead of black. And then compliance review approved, same thing for that one. So the goal would be to see everything in here is green. Okay. Likewise, if I did that, let's say active on that. If I went into my dashboard and viewed it in there, then we're going to see all the same type of things, green across the board or whatever. So those are the things that will help you guys make sure that things are properly status, that your team knows where you're at on each of the different things, and then you can see also what's going on there.